Hi there. I wanted to show you how you can debug why you would see your landing page in GA4 as not set or see pages as not set. This is typically an issue with your implementation. So this is something we've heard from clients in the past. Um, if they've had someone implement GTM or GA4 and they'll see the landing page is coming in as not set. That typically indicates an implementation issue. And I wanted to show you how you can debug whether that is happening and work with developers to essentially correct that. So one of the best tools that I use to indicate really what is going on anywhere within GA4 is this Chrome extension. Is also available on Firefox or any other browser, called AdSwerve Data Layer Inspector. So, for example, I have this enabled. If I go into Inspect and I go to Console, it's going to show me all the different events. These are for a tag manager. But if we reload this page, I'll have to get rid of that. You can see once GA4 loads. Oh, here it is. You can see that a GA4 tag happened. You can see what property or measurement ID, data stream, and then all of the different event parameters that come with it. So there's no clear way to see what events are happening through GA4, even manually typing data layer. You can go into the network tab and find the collect, and those are essentially the events for GA4. But I think that this Chrome extension, it's free, it's very simple, it organizes, it highlights the GA4 events. If you're doing more work with data layer pushes, it will highlight the data layer push. So if you're sending custom data layer pushes for like purchases or add to carts, it'll show. So I highly recommend you using that. So when you're loading the site, there is typically why you would see not set is if you don't see a page view event or you don't see a session start essentially happen. Page view and session start are two different events that fire within GA4 to indicate that you're starting a session and that you're loading a page, and that they should collect the metadata from that page, what the page title is, what the page path is. And if they're not collecting that, then that's an issue, and I want to show you how you can kind of debug that. So when you load onto the page and you go to your GA4, you'll see all of these different parameters. Most of these are not important, but one that you will see if your site is firing a session start event is, it's not here because this isn't the first session we've had today, but you'll see _SS. If _SS equals 1, I'm just using this for reference, that is not the parameter that you would see. If _SS equals 1, and remember that this is when you first loaded the site for the first time that day, or within that time period. Don't load the site and then come back like 5 minutes later and load it again and look for this, because it's gonna be on the first event but not the second one. So do this, you either clear your cookies or do this from the start. So you look for _SS1. If that is 1, then that means that a session start is being identified, and that in theory should pass through the values of this, which is your page title, and this, which is your page URL, and then your page refer. So look for _SS and that to be equal to 1. Another way that you can look is within the settings of GA4, you have the debug view. So if you're enabled to GTM and you load up your site, you should be able to go into here and we'll interact and make sure that you find your debug device. It might take a little bit to show, but it will show eventually if it's working as expected. So we're going to go to another page on the site. And it should soon load a page view. But when you load into when you load into this debugger, you can see user engagement because we click something, eventually page will come through. You'll see that a page view event fires. If you're debugging and you see a page view event fire, and you can see the contents of page location, of page title as showing, this should indicate that it's tracking as expected. If you see data here, but you're still seeing landing page is not set, then confirm within the debugger that you see underscore SS equals to 1 on your first session. Clear your cookies if you want to retry this. But this debug view should help you. If you're seeing the contents, if this is not set, then you know you have a bigger issue. But if this is setting to the page title, this is setting to the page location, you should be in a good spot for this. So I hope this helps. Definitely use AdSwerve's Data Explorer or Data Layer Inspector. Utilize GA4's native debug view. Utilize GTM if you're not already. And look for the things that I pointed out in this video, and this should help you. Best of luck.